My name is Paul Stavinsky. I'm probably the last person that you would ever expect to be sitting here, in Dr. Young's presence especially. I lost a bet and ended up in Valley Center, California for 2.5 weeks of 3 that was scheduled. My wife coaxed me into coming out here, much to my, I guess, objection is the easiest way to say it. I was skeptical. I had read online the good, the bad, the ugly. But nonetheless, I did come to California because I suffer from many, or I'm sorry, see, I have to correct myself. I suffered. I don't suffer anymore. And that's the story I'm going to tell you tonight. I am 61 years old. Rob Young says I'm 62, but that's a whole nother story, and we won't debate that tonight. But basically, I'm about 61 years old. And for the last 20 years, I have suffered from numerous complaints, pains, devastating depression, surgeries that probably didn't need to be performed. And I know that today because I'll tell you the story in a second about that situation. But nonetheless, I came here with this in my head, in my body. And I'm sitting here, I guess it's almost 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks later. I've been on the PH Miracle program of Dr. Robert Young's. I again didn't enjoy, especially the beginning of the program. It is a commitment that frankly not everyone will, I guess, give themselves and do it. But it has been remarkable. Just to give you a little example, on Thanksgiving, which is a few days shy of a week that I was here, I tried to go to Thanksgiving dinner at some families. Not dinner, but I went to their dinner and I watched. Because again, if you're on the PH Miracle, you're liquid for the next 2.5 weeks. So I couldn't walk. I literally could not go more than 2.5 steps without somebody holding me up on my right side. My right hip was useless. We had actually called my doctor, the surgeon, who, by the way, had done a hip replacement 2 years ago on my left side, and said, I need to come in to see you for an evaluation for surgery. Friday, I woke up, and I, again, had not cheated. I was on the diet, and I felt better. I said, okay, cancel the doctor for the time being. Saturday I woke up and literally, I swear on my mother's grave, I could walk. And I could walk without pain. To the point where a friend of mine who I met here, Wayne Riley, said, why don't you come hit some balls with me, tennis balls? I said, Wayne, I can't do it. I mean, I could hardly walk 2 days ago. P.S. I was on the court an hour later hitting tennis balls. Now, some of you may think I'm being paid. Some of you think, well, he must have gotten 2 weeks for free for doing this. I'm not getting a thing. As a matter of fact, I spent hard-earned money to be here, and I wouldn't do it if it was reversed in any way. I am totally telling you this from my heart. It is a miracle that I walked. It is an absolute miracle that I walked. Now, that sounds good, right? Wait a minute. There's something better. What I was going to get at is I've been suffering for many, many years from something that frankly is very personal. I have not shared this with anyone outside of my immediate family, but since it is no longer part of my life, I guess I can say whatever I want now. I've been suffering from depression. Depression can be many things, you know, call it bipolar, call it whatever you want to call it. I've been on every conceivable, and I mean this with all my heart, I've been on every conceivable antidepressant, whether it's MEO uptake or SRI, whatever they had out there, I took. Nothing, including Nardil, which was one of the first drugs ever made to treat depression. I came here taking 2 drugs. One was Paxil, and one was Wellbutrin. Prior to coming here, if I went more than a day without taking those 2 medications, literally I would walk around sobbing in pain internally. I can't tell you the feeling unless you've ever experienced it. It's not something you want to. Anyway, make a long story short, When I came here, Rob and I had a talk, Dr. Young, by the way, and he said, we can get you off of that. I said, yeah, okay, whatever you say. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be skeptical, and I'm not trying to be flippant, but you have to understand I'm 60-something years old. I've been through everything when it comes to this stuff, and nothing ever worked. So I was very skeptical. But he said, don't worry, we can get you off of that. I said, okay. And he said, we'll slowly start breaking it off. You know, stop cutting it down like a little quarters. You know, take them out and take a little quarters. Well, I hadn't talked to him, and this is, you know, again, this is the first day we were here. About a week and a half later, he hadn't asked me a word about what was going on with that, except my hip and, you know, how my energy was doing and stuff like that. And I hadn't taken any pills. I started to cut down, and remarkably, about the 4th day, I said, I don't need this stuff anymore. Now, again, every doctor that you will talk to on the face of the earth who has ever treated anyone for depression will tell you, you never just cliff dive off medication. But again, my body said to me, you can do it. And I did. Now, I didn't tell him this until probably a week and a half into this. And I said to him one day, I said, Rob, guess what? He said, what? I said, I haven't taken my medication in over a week and a half. He says, told you. You know, again, I don't know how to emphasize the feeling of freedom when you are not tied to a medication, synthetic, bad for you. We all know medications are not good for you. They may solve or treat a little particular symptom, but they don't solve anything. I don't ever intend to take any medication again for the rest of my life. Now, I don't think you understand the meaning of that to me, because I was tied to it. I used to have to make sure every place I went when I was traveling for business that I had my little pills with me. I don't care anymore. I don't take anything anymore. I literally do not take anything except for the supplements on the program. The only thing I can say to you is, and I can tell you a little bit more about the other enhancements to my life that I've received in the last 3 weeks. And only, by the way, it's supposed to get better from what Rob has to say. Wait till the 12th week. So God knows what I'll be doing then. But right now, I have some youth back. I have some energy. And the only thing I can say is, if anybody is skeptical, if anybody's thought to look at the internet and find something to dissuade them from doing something, you can find it out there, believe me. But I want you to, I'll even give you my contact information if you wanted. You can call this PH Miracle Center, and I'll give them permission to give you my contact information. And I will tell you that if you follow the program, and it's not that hard, it's a change of lifestyle, but if you follow the program, you will get results. I'm not sure what your ills are. I'm not sure what your problems are. But this guy, Paul Stavinsky, had 3 major hurdles in his life laid down so I can walk instead of jump. And I thank the PH Miracle, and especially my new good friend, Dr. Robert Young. Thanks.